Hello and welcome back to episode 1 of my online career mode. So the way this series is going to work is there's not going to be too much backstory, it's mainly going to be gameplay and me just talking about what's actually happening at that point in time. So if you are watching this and I've maybe got another 10 episodes and you don't want to catch up, feel free just to skip to the latest episode, you won't actually miss that much. In this episode, we've got 3 games, one against QPR, one against Sheffield Wednesday, and one against Millwall. Not in that order, but I'll put timestamps on the below so it's in chapters, so you can skip to the match you want to see. The most interesting one I've probably saved till last, so make sure you stick around until the end if you want to see that. But now, let's get into our first game. You can see I've got this nice little squad graphic to show you my squad before each match. So we've got Esser in goal, Brian, Apara, Mensah and Cash providing quite a lot of pace on the backline. So and Luna are good defensively and at running. Lingard's the creativity alongside Shaqiri on the wing. And Elia with 5-star skills in front of the Argentinian Acosta up front. The bench is fairly strong as well, so pause the video if you want to see who else I have in my squad. But that's the squad, you know who's playing where. Let's get straight into this first match. So welcome to, I think this is actually a home match for me, yes, so welcome to the City Ground against QPR. The first thing you're going to notice about this match is there's a fair amount of lag, but we're going to get straight into the action here, and you can see we injured their right back, but he gets up before my uninjured player, crosses the ball to their midget false 9 striker who beats Apara in the air. And QPR really did have the better of the play for the first couple of minutes. It was a bit of laggy, as I said, but we had a couple of chances there. Elia not quite having enough pace to get on the end of that, before Lingard burst down the wing, crossed it to Acosta, who rolled it in very slowly past the goalkeeper. And I think it was fair enough that it was 1-1 at this point. We had another good chance here, the Uruguayan Luna breaking through from midfield, intercepting the ball and hitting the post. I think any other player on our team probably would have scored, but Luna, not quite the titan in front of goal that you'd want him to be. Jesse Lingard again breaking down the side. And Elia can't quite get the aerial header chance there either. You can see Apara was being a bit of a beast there by just knocking over Verdi, and that's basically all that happened in the first half. I swear some of these matches you'll have highlights that are much longer than other games, but the first half in this one was fairly tame. Hanane got through with a sub from half time, hits the post again, so that's twice in this match. We probably could be up 3-1, but unfortunately it's still 1-1. We're trying to bust out the skills here with the lag just to try and see if that can help things out. A lot of the time it will be harder to defend in laggy situations against skill. And you can see Apara or Fosu Mensah, I wasn't too sure, I didn't catch that. Again being a bit of a beast. Shaqiri playing a 1-2 with Luna. And Hernane's drawn the defender by doing a nice backwards little moonwalk back into the onside position. Breaking through. A really bad back pass and the lag was so bad I just didn't have enough chance to put any power on it. Again, Hanane bursting past their very slow defenders. I knew they had a weakness there because of course this is my former team. Hanane gets past Dickey, somehow manages to hold off the 6'5", I think, centre-back, slots it in. Hurler had a chance here, although it was more of a P-roller from quite a wide position, so not that likely to go in. But Shaqiri and Hanane linked up well again, as Shaqiri had been put as attacking midfielder. It was a good pass, but he was just offside. He couldn't get onside like he did in the last one. Forest playing for Forest out on the wing here, gets the ball. Again, their centre-backs don't quite have enough pace. And again, we probably should score a goal. So we could probably be 5-3 would be a fair result at this point. Same kind of goal difference, but we get another one late on in the game here. I think Dickey was just getting a bit too tired alongside his defensive partner. And that's how it ended, 4-1. Hopefully an entertaining match. I think there's probably around 20 to 25 goals in this episode. So that's only 5 of them. So you can be sure that the other matches are going to live up to the hype as well. Hanane was very good. I really like playing with him. He's going to be someone that you see a lot. Since I started playing, I've decided he's probably my best striker. He's fast, of course, which is always good in FIFA, but he's surprisingly lethal as well. So that's why I've named him the Nottingham Forest Man of the Match for my opening game against QPR, my former club. Pretty interesting stuff. So now let's get on to our second match, which I believe is going to be the hardest in the soul of this episode. So that's against Millwall. Millwall have a very good team. They have big, powerful strikers. They have decent defence. And I think they have Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the midfield, who is always going to be difficult for a championship side to play against with his pace and strength. You can see the team pretty similar there, except Elia on the wing instead of up front. and Acosta and Lingard swapping positions with Acosta playing through the middle.
Welcome
this is
everyone
actually the first
on a
ever
perfect
match I
night
played
for
with
football
Forest.
with the
The QPR one
floodlights
happened
beaming
after this
down.
one,
And
but I
this
thought
is the
the
day when
storyline of
every
this episode
football
would be a
fan
bit
is
more interesting
expectant
if I put the
and
Millwall one in
optimistic.
the middle of the
Opening
two
day.
other games.
It is Nottingham
So
Forest,
we're going to be expecting
and
a
they
tough
take
match
on
here.
Millwall.
Are doing pretty well in the league, but we get off to a good start. Elia using some skills, couldn't quite score, and the rebound fell to the Millwall player. Millwall get it out wide, and we managed to clear it, which was pretty good. Apara again, getting there just at the last moment. We knew we had to be on top of our defence, but unfortunately a poor goalkeeping error, I would say that. He probably should be saving that every day of the week, and they've chipped it over his head on a really low height. A couple of minutes later, a pullback and Millwall are 2-0 up, and we're sinking without a trace. Acosta couldn't quite get around the goalkeeper, and I think at 2-1 we would have had a decent chance of staying in this. Again with this chance here, the pullback, they just get there with Ferguson, so not even a bought player, a standard player that's on the Millwall squad. Again, they just get to that ball ahead of our striker, otherwise we'd been through one-on-one on goal, and knowing me, probably hit the post. But they don't hit the post. Max Gradel gets his hat-trick, and it's 3-0 after 30 minutes. Just before half-time, Gradel gets another chip that the goalkeeper probably should be saving, and it's 4-0 going into half-time. We really do have to rescue this if we want to not be embarrassed. We get through again, and it's another solid tackle right at the last moment. And out of frustration, we throw it to the wrong player a couple of minutes later, and we give them probably the easiest goal you'll see in this entire series. It's now 5-0, and we are playing probably the worst we ever have. Hernani gets through though, Shaqiri bursting through from the kickoff. Hernani manages to get round the goalkeeper, unlike Acosta earlier, and we get 5-1. Maybe there is chance of a comeback still. Millwall playing well, some good breaking up the play, some good passing, and they make it 6-1, so maybe the comeback is off. Shaqiri gets a nice goal there where he sort of power chips it over the goalkeeper. A couple of minutes later, Hernani's through on goal and he gets a regular chip, but again he's offside. So that's twice in this game now we scored offside goals. Hernani with the nice flip-flap, and then he manages to get away from his player, pulls it over to Shaqiri, who does manage to score. So that's good play again, and all of a sudden 3-6 we actually have a chance of getting a pullback. Hernani does get a pullback, and that's 4-6. So with 5 minutes left, we have to go all out. And unfortunately that leaves us a little bit open at the back. And Max Gradel managed to outmuscle the stronger left back. Gets through, scores a nice volley, 7-4, game is over. So you can see we probably could have got a 5-5 or a 6-6 draw in this one. But we just had that poor goalkeeping mistake. We had 2 times he got chipped where he probably could have just caught the ball. We scored 2 offside goals. So overall, I'd say I'm pretty unlucky in that match. But we're going to go straight on from that. We know where our weakness was. It was defending. We shouldn't have given him the chance to chip the goalkeeper that many times. So we're going into the game against Sheffield Wednesday. We've named an almost unchanged side from the first game, where we've got Lingard, Shaqiri and Acosta behind Hernani, and the back 6 are all the same, and so is the goalkeeper. We've moved Elia onto the bench, and we put Hernani in the starting level instead, but as I said, the rest of the other 10 players are exactly the same, just in different positions. So we're at home again. I think that's all 3 matches we're at home, because the QPR one should have been away, but the other guy was struggling to actually invite me. I never mentioned it, but the QPR fan was actually a subscriber of the channel. So if you're watching, hello, and unfortunately the lag kind of ruined the game, but it was a very close game, and thanks for a fun couple of minutes. But we started against Sheffield Wednesday, and they have a couple of early chances. We've learned from the Millwall game, as I said, and we know we have to focus on our defence, so that's exactly what I was doing. I was trying to keep it tight at the back, moving players back into positions, not letting them get around me with the bridge move like you see there. If we were going to give them shots, it was going to be from poor angles with players in the way, similarly to that one, hoping that they would end up going wide. So they have Santos from Philadelphia Union, I think, and they also have the top scorer in the league, Gianni. I think it's Digianini, I can't remember how you pronounce it, but he's got about 30 goals, or 30 or 40 goals in 20 games, so you know he's scoring 2 a game. We have to be careful around him. You can see in the highlights, it's just Sheffield Wednesday to start off with. All we're doing is trying to stay compact, not give him good chances, and we can see we've made a goalkeeper mistake there. But will we get punished? Santos dribbling around, and Panzu gets it. Santos again, Giannini, and he does a bridge move, doesn't work. We get it back. Matty Cash there again. Opara with a crunching tackle on the top scorer, and we get a lucky bounce now. And we have chance for our first attack on the game. In the 43rd minute, Hanane manages to wriggle away, puts it through the defender's legs, but then finesses it straight into the goalkeeper. And it's a 0-0 first half, which is very unusual. Hanane gets the ball straight away in the start of the second half, and he doesn't make the same mistake this time. It's a goal. So, well done. That is pretty good. Lingard gets the ball. Shaqiri, So can't quite score from the edge of the box. You can see we're starting to attack and open up a little bit more because we're getting more confidence in our defence after that pace thing we got in the last game. But we do concede again. Mpanzu gets a goal, 1-1. And this is the kind of determination we're going to need if we want to win this game. Brian shrugging off Loftus-Cheek, forcing a cross in where the goalkeeper doesn't come to collect it because I think the setting was probably set to stay online. And it's a good header from Hanane, who's not the tallest and not the best in the air, but he still manages to get a nice header goal. Luna with an interception there, and that's what he's good at. He's got a lot of pace. I do like to compare him to Kante. He's got good interceptions and good pace. I think I've always underestimated how much pace is needed in central midfield until I started playing this online career mode. So I've swapped in a bit more pace there. Samba Sal for Dariqua. Goalkeeper makes a very good save, although he kind of messes up twice there. We managed to survive. So maybe a goalkeeper is the next transfer that we need to make when the transfer window opens. But Forest is playing for Forest again, down the wing, gets the cross in, and yeah, not the same as before. But we've brought on Elia now as an attacking mid, Dariqua in centre defensive midfield, and it's given us a lot more pace. You can see the trickery of Elia there. He does a ball roll and gets very lucky to get a penalty. Hanane doesn't miss. 3-1, and it looking like we're both better defensively and attacking much better than in the Millwall game. Elia with some skills gets another lucky bounce, goes to Hanane, slots it in. He doesn't make that mistake that he made in the first half. Dariqua there trying to play a ball through. Hanane can't quite get on the end of it, so that's what we miss when we do bring in Dariqua, but his pace more than makes up for it. You can see the defensive abilities do need to still be used at the end of the game, otherwise that would have been 2 good chances for him. But Elia does a nice ball roll to make it 5-1. Ball roll into a finesse shot, always good to see. You can see the extra flair, the more defensive solidity has really made this game a lot better for us. We've only conceded 1 goal in this, which is the same as the laggy game against QPR. And personally, I think the player behind Sheffield Wednesday is one of the better ones in the league as well. I know I said Millwall was one of the best, but Leicester are probably the best. And I don't think Sheffield Wednesday is far off him. Hanane uses his pace one last time, does a fake shot stop, slots it into the corner, and that is a nice 6-1 win against one of the favourites to get promoted back to the Premier League, to be honest. You can see Hanane was the real man of the match. You can't expect anything else when he's got 5 goals from 6 attempts. I believe he got a 10 out of 10, and that's why he's the Nottingham Forest man of the match. Sheffield Wednesday probably could have done with a better goalkeeper. If he'd come off his line, he would have stopped the header. He could have even saved the penalty if he was a bit more lucky, but I'm not going to say no to a nice 6-1 win. So good performance from the Reds. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. A lot of goals, a lot of action. Hopefully you can see my progression, because the order I played the games was actually Millwall, QPR, and then Sheffield Wednesday. So you can see I had a bad defeat start off with, an alright victory against a laggy game, and then a strong win against Sheffield Wednesday. Hopefully you enjoyed this. As I said, you can still try and join if you go back to my other video, have a consideration of joining the Reddit page, but I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you and goodbye.